breaking Bridget.
Ugh. There is no bottom, it seems, no off-ramp to the mandates, to the craziness around all of the vaccination stuff. In New York City, Mayor de Blasio this past week announced more mandates for workers in the private sector, mandates for children 5 to 11. They need to be vaccinated to go to all indoor dining, fitness, and entertainment. Which is crazy because these kids have suffered enough and now they can't even go to a museum. And also he mandated that one shot is no longer enough. Technically, I'm not vaccinated in New York City anymore. You have to have 2 shots to be considered vaccinated. And this is why people are losing their minds. It only fuels a conspiracy theory. If you keep moving the goalposts and make it seem like there's no off-ramp to this, that there's never an end. You have to, in LA, Maggie was at a hockey game. You have to all prove that you're vaccinated, but then you have to wear masks the whole time. We were sold the idea of the vaccinations with the hope of getting the masks off. And now it's both. You need both. And it's because these vaccinations aren't working in the ways that they said they were going to work, which was allegedly you couldn't spread the virus if you got vaccinated. But, oh, whoops, they found out you can still spread the virus. It minimizes your effects of getting the virus, but it doesn't mean you can't still spread it all over the place. Now we have all of these conflicting messages. And in LA, about 34,000 LA Unified School District students have not yet complied with the vaccine mandate, 12 and up. By the way, I don't even think this is all kind of like resting on it being FDA approved, but I don't even think it has been yet. And there might not be enough time now for kids to even get vaccinated before the second semester. Like, do not tell me you care about the kids.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you care about these kids. Missed over a year of school in LA. And these kids in New York have suffered so much, and they closed playgrounds. They closed the school. And now you're telling me that 34,000 kids can't go back to school because they haven't been vaccinated? Like, that's supposed to help things? This is outrageous, and people are co-signing it. People who say they care about the kids and they care about all of the kids who are minorities or the kids who are vulnerable, and many instances based on the statistical evidence of who's getting vaccinated and who's not in San Francisco and LA, it's predominantly people of color, and they're the ones who are going to suffer the most from this and lose out on school. And there's already an education gap in these populations. They already suffer in the summer because they don't have tutors and they don't have the resources, and their parents have to work through the whole pandemic. And now what are these parents going to do with their kids who can't go to school? And they're supposed to learn remotely. Don't tell me you care about the kids. Don't tell me in New York. My friend Carol's leaving New York, and she was like, diehard New Yorker. I don't know where the off ramp is for any of this. And I want to yell too, because I went out to dinner in LA and they had to check my ID and my vaccination and all this shit. And I wanted to just stand up and I'm thinking of doing this just to maybe go viral because it would be hilarious. Just stand up in the restaurant and be like, you know we don't have to live like this, right? You know there are people in this country right now who aren't living like this. They're free. They're out there being free. They're in Texas. They're in Utah. They're in Florida. They're running free without masks. They don't have to check their vaccination passports. They're just living life like it was before the pandemic. And they have been for over a year. And just have a total meltdown and then blame it on pregnancy. I'll be like, it was the hormones.
She's pregnant, guys. She's pregnant. She's pregnant.
You know we don't have to do this. I mean, it is like more and more that joke of like, I could go rob a Nordstrom's, but I need to be vaccinated. In California, which is like the Wild West in some respects, and in other respects, like a total deep state dystopia.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's such a weird paradox that we're living. It almost feels intentional. And this is why I'm breaking. My mind is breaking. I have to get out of here. I regret and apologize for ever thinking the lockdowns were okay, acceptable. At the time, we didn't know anything. Everyone was freaking out. They were welding people into their freaking houses in China, and there were thousands of people dying in Italy, and it seemed like it was going to be horrible. And I learned a lot from that experience, mostly that you cannot trust the government with any more power than they already have because they will not let it go. And I apologize. I'm grateful for the lesson, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jordan Peterson was on Joe Rogan, and he gave a great talk and speech about how do they even get here, and it's like by pushing just little by little, by pushing up, getting protests, ignoring it, pushing past that, and continuing to move and move and move. And we see this with these goalposts, we see this with these fucking mandates. 5 to 11 children need to be, they don't even suffer COVID. We know this from the science, that they get it like a cold. They're not even experiencing this in the same way. And yet everybody just is like, okay. And that's what's so freaking terrifying to me. Well, that's me, Broken Bridget this week. There's a place where people are free.